that description.
I can't tell when the intro's rolling if you don't. Right now.
Alright, good morning everyone. Welcome to another episode of Damage Control. This is Mookie, joined again today here with my brother Darth. And we have a lot to talk about today, so pretty much today we are going to really get into the Warrior Instinct side of things, because there was a blog post that came out, a patch update that came out, event news that are coming out, characters news coming out, so we got a lot to go ahead and go over. So it's very exciting times for us here, and I'm definitely going to lean on Darth. I don't want to say that too much. I don't want to break his back, but I know he's been kind of keeping up to date with all these little updates going on, so we'll definitely pick his brain. And with that being said, Darth, how are you doing?
I'm excited. That's how I am. I'm very excited for the stuff coming up.
Yeah, man. No, it's definitely good. We're talking off camera here about that. So, a lot of stuff. Hopefully I don't kind of break down. I'm trying to keep the flow here as best as I can with the producing side of it. So, yeah, let's just jump right into it, man. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the past event first. And as we have the gameplay here behind me, I accidentally click on arena. It was this one particular event that we had. It was the Voodoo event. And what I wanted to, here it is over here. It's the Heroes Haunting. This is one of those most friendly, player events that we get the shards from the characters being released. And, you're kind of dependent on the pools, right? As far as what characters off those orbs you're going to get. Hopefully you land them in the centerpiece and get the double-digit shards. Do you know what number did you land on him for Voodoo?
Okay, so I buy a pack. And usually when I buy a pack, I can get 5-star easily just by playing the event campaign. Usually I wind up like halfway to 6-star. On the Brother Voodoo event, I had to purchase 2 orbs with cores to get him to 5-star. My pulls were extra poor, and I core the event. I cored up to 100 cores every day, and a couple times I cored 100 cores a few times. So my luck was super, super bad for him. So I have him 4 red, 5 yellow right now.
Okay. Yeah, see, and as you can see, I put up my screen here, and I actually was on the lucky side of it. And I do the same concept as you do. I buy only one pack, the first intro, release pack that they have on the buy. And then from there, especially on this one, I knew it was going to be that campaign event that I was able to go ahead and just get lucky in the pools. I mean, it's just the luck of the draw, right? At some point, sometimes you're lucky, you can get some high stars off of it. But I guess the worst case scenario, would you say if you buy the pack, like the intro first character release shards, and then start doing this particular event, would you say like the worst case is kind of where you landed and getting the 5?
I was going to say, I think that I was at the worst case scenario where I was like 15 shards short of 5-star.
Oh, okay. So you're like on the cusp of 4
but I mean,
5.
Like I said, we've done so many of these events. That's the first time it's ever even been close to me for that. So that's just, that's RNG. That's the luck of the draw. That happens sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. So that was that event. And then I know we've been talking about Dark Hunters a lot in the last show, so we'll just kind of skip over them today. And let's talk about this other one that's coming up. So in the present event that we're dealing with, it's a celebration Incantation. Now, this is kind of where they start introducing the Dark Code, where they're talking about Scarlet Witch, and you can get some shards from her. Now, this one, I'm not going to break down the too much details about the whole concept as far as on the rewards. Well, I guess I should, right, since I'm looking at it. But, I mean, it's a simple one. I mean, it's basically just about going through your daily events, right, where you're just using up your campaign energy, your ISO energy, and then the blitz rotations is what's going to earn you some of those cauldrons. That's what I'm trying to put. So
the one thing, spend your ISO energy. Spend your refreshes on your ISO 8 energy. They're double cauldrons per energy versus your normal campaign energy. So that'll help get you ahead and make your blitzing even less. This is a great event. This is the event like they used to have back in the day, where you can blitz until your fingers hurt and you can complete the event, or you can spend some money and skip a day or two of blitzing and complete the event. The point is this, that the event is completable free to play, and it's got reasonable rewards. You'll wind up with an Elite Six, some teal pieces of the new unique, some 16 orbs, some 14 to 50. God, I could use 114 orbs. But there's the reasonable amount of rewards because it's their celebration. So this event has made me very happy as far as events were concerned, and I wish they would bring out more like this.
Yeah. No, 100%. Now, what I wanted to know, I mean, where are you at right now so much on this milestone? Do you know where you're at on?
I can find out in like 20 seconds here. Milestones.
Yeah, I know for a fact you're
17 is the
yeah.
next one. I'm 300 away from collecting 17.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I knew you were up ahead of me, and the difference is that typical me, right? I'm slow playing the store. You see, so like I
Well, yeah,
have,
there's the difference.
I know, right? But you know what? See, that's where I was gonna pause a little bit. I like the event. There's nothing wrong about it. But what my disliked about it is just what my options are here. As far as on where to spend those cauldron currencies. I'm not gonna spend it like on a catalyst. I mean, this is my day-to-day farming, right? That we have
Right.
on the regular campaign section. So I'm not gonna spend it there. And then when I look over here, I'm getting like the uniques, but I really want the other specific uniques. Like I always forget the
Right.
names of them. The
The
mini
origin
ones.
uniques. Yeah.
Yeah, like and because I'm not getting that, that's where I'm kind of salty a bit. I mean, have you seen it come across on here? I really haven't seen it yet. That's why I have it up so high.
Nope. I have not.
Okay, so at that point, I just might as well just start spinning, right, and just start using it up. So that's kind of
See,
why I paused.
this is where you being a hoarder makes this a lot less exciting for you than me. Because I am okay with there being a lot less teal gear because I'm not buying any of that teal gear this time. I am literally buying SBCs and Gear 14 Mystic gear. And I'm broke. I've got like 1,400 of those cauldrons right now.
Yeah,
So keep going down. I'll buy that 20 pack right there every time I can. And then one more row with the ciphers and all that. And if there's a Mystic piece in that top gold row on the screen right now, I'll pick that up. But see, this is the difference. Is I'm straight out of Mystic gear right now because I've been hammering all my characters. So, and yeah, 15,000. I have 300.
so that's the difference, right? Tomato, tomato. Like, I mean, for me, I I'm looking at these pieces, and what I'm gonna end up doing, what I started like just realizing, it's like, you know what? I kind of look at it the resource management side of things more so, and it's just like, I'm gonna go ahead and just start like balancing out where I try to get 200 here on these particular pieces, and then that's when I start buying. See how like I'm over 200. That's one of the reason why I didn't do this one. So I just kind of do this balance approach, and that's just my personal play and what I do on my daily farming. But other than that, I mean, event. Like, I mean, I'm not salty about it at all. I mean, this is a damn good, event, especially on the milestone section. So for me, it's just kind of pausing, not jumping too fast, and I'm just kind of slow playing to figure out how my strategy is going to be about the farming, the shopping part of the cauldrons, and that's all. That's all that differs. But I'll start jumping up there pretty soon. But you did hit on one of the key points, though. It's about the blitz. I mean, one of these events is that I don't like blitzing too hard, but I think it's only about like maybe about 6 rotations. What I heard is what you can do a day to complete the event. So it's not like I need to get up to the 8 to 10 number, like that aggressively. So that's kind of what I like about the event. But if you're really gun ho about it, the harder you blitz, the faster you'll get into completing this whole the milestones to the event.
Once you finish the event, the cauldrons don't stop coming.
True.
So if you blitz your face off all the time and do everything, you'll just wind up with extra stuff from that store
Yeah.
beyond the event. So I mean, 10, 14 pieces of one kind for 1,200 of those cauldrons. I'm all about those right now. Like I said, it's funny the difference in because I blow through my resources and because you save them. The difference in what we're looking for right now. And we're both in the same spot, like on DD5, right? Have you begun City yet?
No, I'm one character away, and it's from
Okay.
the Misty
So I,
Knight, and it kind of gets to the point of what I'm shopping for. I was really, really hoping, and that's the tad bit of salt, if you want to call it that. I'm not salty, but I really wanted to get these particular uniques right here, and I needed
okay.
to get this for Misty Knight to go in. So, and then even for like the next characters, whoever else, like over here, I need to get her unique too for her titanium alloy. That's all. But we'll talk about that because I know where I can get rewarded, as we got some news about pocket dimensions. It's just a little teaser.
Mm.
So, but before we jump into that, let's. I still want to talk about this to close out the celebration incantation. This is a kind of a kudos to 4 years, right, for the game. And so it's kind of twofold, right? It's talking about, it's kind of giving the Scarlet Witch shards, but it's also talking about 4 years. And what I happened to notice this morning as I was kind of going into the my usual routine, I noticed someone's collection shards hit the 2 million. Your total collection,
Yeah.
man. When did you hit your
I bought
20 mil? Congrats, by the way.
the day that we got Strange. Strange bumped me up when I unlocked him and started leveling him up over 20 million.
Okay.
That was the same day the patch hit, so I got like a big bump that day though. Like because characters got a little bit of a boost. The ones that got reworked in their collection power. So like Sinister and Mystique and Strife all got like a 4 or 5 thousand power boost. It wasn't a whole bunch, but it was it's like getting another character and not leveling him. But yeah, I did it. 20 million. It's the new 10 million.
Yeah, no, I saw that. So congrats, man. And yeah, I noticed like not only did you just hit the 20 mil, you kind of jumped over by getting 20.2, getting that 230K. But I think you just
Yeah.
touched on it right now about the stab boots. That makes sense now.
It
All right.
happened at the beginning of Doctor Strange too. So there's also 100K of that is the Doctor Strange for the last couple days.
Yeah. All right.
Heartless, not Doctor Strange. The good one, the really awesome Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the patch. I mean, it came out. So when the patch came out, we got these new characters coming through right here. That's at the bottom of the roster. Of course, Strange was part of it. He already got unlocked here for me, and we'll touch on him later. But when you look at one of the things, and I haven't really asked you this, but what I want to start doing whenever we get these patch updates is trying to figure out, we're going to kind of talk about our top five in a moment. But do you have like a particular top character that's out of the patch that you're most excited about from this recent one?
Actually, it's the character that came out first is the one I'm most excited about. Which is the Doctor Strange Heartless character. I
Okay.
think that's because I'm really into the What If series. Like I really enjoyed those 9 episodes on Disney Plus. So like I've got a personal connection with the character a little bit, and he's awesome, man. I wish the rest of his team was out. The only bad thing about him is I'm finding a really hard time finding a good home for him until the rest of the Darkhold comes out.
Yeah, I think that is the issue right there. So have you already started doing some T4s on him?
Everything but the basic,
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to hit those
and you
ones.
have it.
Yeah, I just haven't
You
hit
have it in the
those.
right order.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's a Raider. Is he a Raider for you too? Yep. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I'm putting him at for right now.
So he's a member of the Darkhold, and we're just kind of talking about Scarlet Witch there a little bit, and she got that rework. So let me pull up the Darkhold because I mean that's kind of where all these new patch characters are coming through from. And I was starting to look at Scarlet Witch, and I'm kind of on the fence if I should even be keeping her here as the health ISO, the healer ISO. So yeah, like I got
Mm,
everything starting to come up. I haven't hit the button yet because I wanted to ask you. I'm thinking about like either using her for like a raider or skirmisher. I mean, what ISO do you have her at?
I made her a skirmisher,
You did do a
and
skirmisher.
it might be the wrong decision, but it's what I did. Skirmishers.
Is it focus
I don't know.
aspect you're
I don't
looking
know.
at?
The focus. I don't know if they can resist it. I know her basic is awesome now though. So I mean, focus for her basic is super cool. Like if she's not full up on energy for everything else, she does all of the gross negative effects on her basic.
See, and then that kind of even make me think about using her as a damage, as a striker.
Striker. I
Yeah, to
think
kind of
that
land it twice or something like that to keep hitting those.
yeah,
This is what we're
there's
talking about, the negative effects.
yeah, I think yeah, it depends on what you do with the rest of the whole team. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll depend on how because you're gonna want a striker on your team, but I think that'll be Morgan Le Fay, and maybe you'll want two, and maybe it'll be that's what you want. It'll really depend on her assist and counter thing too in MSF.gg. What does she actually do?
yeah, okay. Yeah, so I mean, right now I'm kind of holding off a little bit on increasing her ISOs until I kind of have a set plan. Because I mean, you hit it right on the nail. It's trying to figure out how the other three are going to come into play. Who's going to get you the vulnerables, and how many strikers do you want on there, and just kind of having a balance effect with this particular team. So more to come on that one. So yeah, definitely. That's kind of what's the current exciting news for me. I'm definitely excited about this new team coming out. And then the other person that was part of this patch here that was up here at the bottom is Madeline Pryor. Now with Madeline Pryor right here, not sure yet as far as what her release is going to be and how she's going to come out. Obviously, she's going to come out with you can pay for her, but she's definitely going to be an interesting asset to the new, Marauder squad on the war defense. And I know you and I tasted that already with the recent rework that they did to, what's called it?
Sinister.
There you go, Sinister. Let me bring up the Marauders. So, I mean, how would you factor into it? I know we always talk about it in the community. Everybody in general always talks about offense first, defense last. But is this a kind of a team? Because since I'm pretty sure, like your Marauder squad, I'm pretty sure you got them all leveled up already, right? Would you say?
They're all at least four. They're all 14, and Sinister and Emma are 15. And Sabretooth doesn't count, but he's 15 as well.
Okay.
And they're all level 80 at least. So.
And this is very much like the flip side of how the Uncanny
Magic.
Yeah, when Magic came into play, right? So now you got Madelyne, you only got one person to work on. It's going to be easy to go ahead and start bumping her up to whatever your personal preference is, whether it be stopping at 12 or leapfrogging over to 13 onto 14. But well, what's your initial? I mean, are you going to run with her as soon as she becomes released and gear her up?
I am, because I skipped Young Avengers, so my defense is a little weak with a very small Young Avengers team. And like we just discussed, I have a lot of those characters really high level already. And so at least I think I got my magic to 13, and I'm working on getting her to 4. I'm thinking about getting her to 14. But just like that, I can put a reasonable amount of investiture into Madeline Pryor, and I could make a B grade war defense team, maybe a B plus defense team. But we'll just talk about this now. Like we just started our experience. I got messed up by a Sinister and an Emma on a Eternals team because I took in a speed meta and didn't pay attention to kill Sinister. I worried about killing Icarus, and I killed Icarus, and Sinister cloned my Icarus, and then my Icarus on their team plus their Cersei just messed my team up. So there's some fun stuff that could be had with this rework, and that's literally just Sinister's ability now, where on war defense, his clone, he clones the highest damage dealer on your team.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to try to see if I can find that on the ability. But yeah, he goes after the highest damage ability now, so he's not gonna go after your multiple man, yeah, little clones and all that. So
no, and it doesn't matter. When he cloned mine, they were all stealthed behind Loki's stealth, and instead of cloning a Loki clone, he went into the stealth and grabbed my Icarus. But that's on his clone. It's on his ultimate if you want to look at.
There it is. Okay, yeah, I was looking at his passive. So there it is. The highest damage, ignoring taunt and stealth. Well, obviously on that side of it, that makes me excited. I was able to get a 7 red star pull on him. It wasn't a purchase. And when this guy right here, you know what? Now I think about it, I may have bought in that 7 star. But I know I was like, I pulled a 6 and only had to go up 1 level. And I did that with the whole thinking like, oh, he's never going to phase out because of that clone mechanic. So that's why I have him at the 7 red. But it's just an interesting team. I guess when I'm looking at it here now, it's like obviously Sabretooth is going to be with your Weapon X.
6 red Strife.
Yeah.
That's good. And a 6 red Mystique, dude. Yeah, you better go in on Madeline Pryor. Your defense is going to be gross.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of leads me into this 5th character right here that's going to replace Sabretooth. Are you thinking Magneto, or who would you put as that 5th person?
Well, I mean, technically, Emma has the tag. So Emma's going to be the one a lot of people put in. But I don't know if I'm willing to take my Emma off of offense right now to put on that team. She's too valuable as a plug and play on too many teams to mess with speed and just make you win. So that's the actual rub for me, is do I put in the actual Marauders team with Emma, or do I put in someone like you said, do I throw in Magneto or Blob for the deflex next to Strife, which is probably what I would do. but that's that remains to be seen. It's a question that'll come as soon as that problem really presents itself.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, there is some theory crafting behind it. I think the gut feeling from how I think most people would play is kind of look at the red star level because I feel like don't you have a pretty high? Is it jugs or is it
I have a,
blob?
I have a seven. I have a seven red star juggernaut.
Yeah, so it'll be
I don't know. He
interesting.
just he's so slow. If he taunted sooner, if he had on spawn taunt, then juggernaut would be the best. But I mean, his taunt takes too long to get up for me without Magneto there.
Yeah.
Like without somebody hitting him without Magneto to help his passive speed him up.
Yep. All right. Well, let me segue into the blog post a little bit because I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we're covering this in regards to the blog post with some of the news, and I just want to touch on it, just kind of skim through, so that way, we're kind of see where we're coming from with this, what's on the horizon, and let me make sure I start on the right order here. So the first one that came out on the blog post was talking about Madeline Pryor, which we're just kind of alluding to, and where she's coming into the whole marauder aspect of that defensive team. Of course, it has a story. It goes into the traits as far as on what you can look into, what her abilities are. But here's that Strange event that's coming out. So Doctor Strange is going to be coming out on April 4th. So it's not next week. It's going to be the following Monday or Tuesday. Not sure what day that falls on. But this one right here seems pretty interesting as far as on how they're changing up the campaign levels, right? As far as difficulty a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a heroic mode now.
Okay. So that's still, I
And
mean,
that is the unyielding trait on your roster.
okay. Let's look at that then. Because I haven't even looked at the. You said it was called the unyielding?
Yielding? Yeah.
Let's see. Check my unyielding. So we jump into that. Have you kind of, I mean, yeah, this
Yes,
already
I
all
have.
good.
You're fine. We should all be fine on our heroic one. I'm gonna have some fun because I'm gonna take in Heartless and Scarlet Witch as a 2-pack with 3 other characters and have some fun. See how they go. Get all the play I can with the Strange right now because I can't find a place for him.
Yeah. Okay. So we have that coming through. And then let's see what else. And then, of course, good news as far as the Star-Lord T'Challa fans out there. I mean, not that I'm not one. I'm definitely looking forward to getting him. I think with what I noticed with Star-Lord T'Challa is like, I don't say dependent, but it's like getting the nice, if you have a nice red star level, especially gold star levels up on here, then he becomes that much more impactful on the team, at least in my opinion, the way I've been able to use him. So I'm excited to see that he's going to be the character, the feature character on the Strike Pass Season 14. So I'm definitely going to look into purchasing that. And then, of course, we got our weekly events here with Magneto being the legendary event. And the Blitz going with Yo-Yo, Bishop for the week. And, of course, just some double drops of certain characters. But I'm skipping through that kind of fast because I want to jump into something here that's also part of the second part of the blog post that came out on Friday. It's like a 2-pack feature. And what's interesting is that on this one, of course, they kind of recap or summarize the whole quadrants and the rewards aspect of that event that we're just speaking of with Scarlet Witch. But it's going to get into this piece of it over here, pocket dimensions. So, Darth, how long have you been waiting since the release of the first pocket dimension? I'm sure you wanted that to run like every 2 weeks or so.
I wanted it to be a weekly event. I wanted to restart as soon as it stopped, but you know how that is. I was hoping it would be every patch, but they straight said it wasn't going to be every patch. So, I mean, this is technically best case scenario, right? It was every other patch, and it's at the beginning of the patch. So I can't cry about when it is. I'm just so happy that it's here.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I was hoping that it was going to be every patch as well. And I, for whatever reason, assumed it was going to be. So I was a little bit disappointed to know that it didn't come out last patch. But here it is on this particular, release that came through here with the new updates. Now, the big thing off of it is going to be for the level that we're at, it's all about getting the gear. And so they kind of break down as far as getting 6 fully crafted superior gear tier 15s. And
first run.
Yeah, in the first run. And then over here, I mean, then second run, they're also giving out that. But it's the What's it when it says three fully crafted augmented gear? Do you know what the difference is between that?
What do you mean between augmented and superior? Three
Yeah.
fully crafted augmented gear. Those are teal pieces. Those are three
Okay, so I'm reading it. Yeah, my bad.
augmented. Okay, superior is gold and augmented is teal.
Got it.
It just
Okay.
doesn't say. See, that's funny because on the it says for gear tier 15, and
Yeah.
on one specifically. So the next one technically should say for gear tier 16.
Okay, got it. So this is the gold. This is the teal for 6 and 3. Okay, and then now you got your silver promo credits are coming through on the first run. Second run, to get the 55 gold promos right there. So the one thing that I'm trying to remember from the rewards from last time, I felt like there was. Would you say on the first run there was a little bit more rewards coming through, or do you think it's about the same?
I
When
think the only difference that I really smell is it was 150 gold promotion credits last time. Like that was so big, I remember it.
okay,
But 55 is still reasonable.
okay,
And of
and
course, they're giving out symbiote Spider-Man shards this time instead of Scarlet Spider shards. So, yeah.
yeah. And that's interesting. So like when it doesn't say it on there, but it's more about like right here. I have the MSF GG map pulled out here, and this is going to be that pocket dimension run that we're speaking of. And when you go onto the website and you click on it, I mean, this is kind of where it gives you the breakdown in advance as far as preparing with the waves you're going to be facing. And then, so the whole aspect, and it even shows you the tag or the trait that you're going to need to get into it. It's going to be this discipline or disciple trait. So I know you touched base with me here, and we're kind of talking about who we plan on using. So do you want to go ahead and talk about the 5 that you want to bring into this pocket dimension?
Absolutely, I do. I'm going to bring in Heartless and Scarlet Witch, Morbius, Ghost Rider, and a Night Nurse. I'm going to have some alternates. I'll have Black Bolt and Yo-Yo to the side as alternates. But see, my Heartless is one gear piece away from being gear tier 15. He's level 85 already. By the time it comes around, my Scarlet Witch will be level 85, but she'll still be gear tier 13. It's like, but my Morbius is gear tier 16, my Ghost Rider's gear tier 15, my Night Nurse is gear tier 15. I assume they'll carry me through most of it.
Gotcha. You know what? And I'm going to piggyback off of what you're doing. I mean, I really like it. And as I, take a look at the direction of where it leads you to, it just makes 100% sense. I mean, like, he's part of this new Darko team that's going to be a pretty, I don't want to say meaningful team,
It's
but
going to be the arena meta. Let's say what it is. When it's full, it will be the arena meta. It will be the best war offense team and the best arena team
yeah.
when it's complete.
Yeah. And one of the key things that you hit on with it being an arena team, ever since I took the jump, I mean, I've been playing the game, for about 3 years, going on 4. But I noticed within this past year, especially with Infinity Watch, that I finally focused on Arena, and it just pays huge dividends as far as with the cores that you get off of the rewards. So I would use this from my experience when I slow played it and never really jumped hardcore in the Arena. As soon as you know in the horizon that this is going to be an Arena team, definitely go for it. And that's why I'm starting to work on. I just started working on him this evening or yesterday or this morning. I don't know. So that's when I started getting him up finally. So I'm going to continue that path each day to get him up to the 80, 85 levels. And same thing with Scarlet Witch. I'm going to start bringing her up, and it just makes sense. And then plus they're going to be part of the pocket dimensions. And but the one thing I want you to kind of talk about is Morbius. Now you did gear him up right to G16.
Yes.
And have you been able? I think you got into the city dimension, right? As far as DD5.
The city knows, yes.
What's
And
your first take on him then? What's your
well,
opinion?
let's just say, so there was I could have waited for the ability to craft 2 more full pieces of teal gear and taken dagger, but I'm not that patient. And Morbius was an easier price to pay. He only needed 3 total tier pieces, and one of them was the middle on the left, so that one's not a full piece cost. And he's been great, man. His bleeds are gross. Like he's when his special, which is a 3-turn. See, it's funny. And now I get to actually play with him, so I'm learning his character much better than just in war offense. Like his special is a 3-turn cooldown, and it leaves 3 bleeds. And I put my T4 on it, so it bleeds him extra. it's he's been excellent. His basic drains health and he heals himself, so he's got a reasonable amount of survivability. I've been very pleased with him as my choice. I don't think it was a bad decision at all, and I'm going to use him just like I said. He's in Dark Dimension. I'm going to use him for Pocket Dimension, and I'm going to use him for Discouragement. So, I think he's a character for the on the other tag too, for the heroic mode on the new campaign.
Yeah.
So he's having all of the uses right now.
Yeah, Spirit Slayer. I wonder if that's what that tag is.
No, maybe he's not. So he might not be on that other one, but it doesn't matter because the other modes he's definitely on.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, when you talked about this, we didn't catch it on the Warrior Instinct side. It was like in between shows, but on Twitch, you brought up that whole plan right there, and it's definitely something that when you mentioned it, it just made 100% sense. And now that you're living it, feeling it, it's even making more sense here. So I'm glad that you did that decision there, and that you're sharing it with us. So that's definitely something that I'm interested in as well. As far as focusing on the gearing side of it, but I did actually did the opposite where I geared up my dagger, so that's why I lost off on those pieces there. But anyways, but I had my different reasons off of that. We won't jump
Dagger
on
is a
that.
good choice, and that's the thing is Dagger is an excellent choice. She's just expensive.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So we have that. So that's what's going on here in regards to the pocket dimensions. So definitely go ahead and start preparing, start getting ready for that. What we want to go ahead and do now is just we're gonna jump right into our top five. All right.